Is the world ending yet? I'm looking outside. Is it there? Are you there, world? All right, world should be ending. Hey, folks, studio here, so I can go ahead and start saying groups I don't like. I'm really not a big fan of the following political parties: Tories, Whigs. Just no, no. I just do not support it. I'm really, really not a fan of anybody from the 18th century. I'm sorry. It's just not cool. It's a bad century. What happened in the 18th century? Nothing interesting. And I'd also like to say that I also do not like Darius players. Sorry. If the world is ending, I'm okay with that because you're going down with me. And the fact that you're going down makes the fact that I'm going down totally worth it because that's how mature people act. If you play Darius, even though you haven't directly offended me, I'm okay with you going down. Just yeah, take it. Now, send me replays if the world has not ended. We're in a very special part of League of Legends competitive. I don't even know what I want to call it, a competitive meta right now. Because no one knows what the hell is going on, and there are some very important tournaments that nobody is watching that matter so much to the North American scene. So, there are MLG, IPL, and Ranked 5 qualifiers for Season 3 qualifiers. So it's a qualifier for a qualifier. But the qualifier, the second qualifier, is live, in person, at some place in Santa Monica. And if you don't know what's going on, they made an announcement a while ago. They're going to have a 16-man tournament in the Riot area. Top 5 teams will be going to Season 3. So we have CLG, Dignitas, TSM as the teams that are already in Season 3. But 5 more teams have to join. No one knows who it's going to be. I mean, Fear, Quantic, or X-Quantic, X-Orbit, Nom Nom, Meat Playground. I've heard like a lot of new teams, like a lot of Mortis has a new team. I mean, Pooh Bear, who was on Quantic, Nom Nom, Orbit, also has a new team. Like, people have new teams. They're coming out of the woodwork, and everybody is going to be making a roll for it, a dive at it. This also means that A, teams don't want to share replays, and B, the replays that are available are for tournaments that I'm not casting because TSM's taking a quick break, or maybe not. I don't know what I'm allowed to say, so I'm not going to say anything. I don't even know if we're doing stuff. Like, there's a lot of chat going on, but I don't know what's going on for sure, and I'm probably not allowed to say it, so I'm not going to. Sorry. But, so, there are lots of cool tournaments going on. Watch those tournaments. Watch the qualifiers. IPL, MLG, and Ranked 5s should be going on, and I believe January 4th is the Ranked 5s qualifier. So, watch it, but this also means I don't have as many replays to access, not as many competitive replays at least. So that means, well, Season 3 has started. You guys are doing crazy, cool things. You'll notice I put an annotation saying, hey, send me shit, send me replays. Because if you don't, I'm just going to have to, just stroke my beard for 20 minutes and just be like, hey, let's talk about some things. Can you hear the beard stroking? I'm going to have to listen through this again. And just kind of like, can you hear me stroking my beard? Do I have to get closer? Anyhow, send me replays, and I'm just going to start this off by looking at a replay of my own. This is a solo queue game, a 1750 ELO game. It is a game that is interesting to look at because, well, it's me playing support Lulu, and let me just go ahead and boost my ego. I'm always interesting to look at, yeah. But more importantly, you kind of get a good mentality of solo queue from this game. So let's go ahead, hit the play button, and then go past a quarter speed and start going through this game. So I'm playing support Lulu. I am playing with a Misfortune who self-touted is not very good at AD carry. This is okay. This is something you'll run into in solo queue. Not everybody is good at every role. If you say that you're good at every role, you're not good at every role because no one's good at every role. I mean, you can be okay at every role, but you're still going to have those scenarios and roles that you just excel in compared to other people and compared to yourself, actually. Like, let's say you're a bomb diggity AD carry, you might not have that much map awareness, you might not be as stable or solid in the top lane or mid lane. If you are a good support or jungler, you probably suck ass at CSing. Let me rephrase that. If you're a good support or jungler, you suck ass at CSing. So, I'll just go ahead and talk about, actually let me open up chat. This is a fun game, everybody's nice. By the way, that guy draws first blood. Let's go ahead and talk about the decisions you make in solo queue. So you kind of have to do what's comfortable for everybody in some circumstances. So this Maokai did a really cool thing. He threw a sapling here, retreated, and then I put a ward here. So this was just to cover his own ass, just in case, like, what if they invade? I'll protect myself just in case people don't spread out. So he's kind of assuming people will not spread out. And afterwards, I'm just like, well, you know what? That sapling is there. I'm just going to take a risk and go ahead and put down that ward. I took the risk because I saw with the move of jungle that, you know, they're probably not defending that area. They're probably focusing more on their own blue buff, but had they attacked me, they had Nami and Lux, they would have wrecked me. So this is like a ward that, situationally, it is very useful sometimes, other times it's not. But in solo queue, it's, you know, one of the best wards ever because almost every jungler will go straight to raids. In fives, in tournaments, you'll see people, they'll go around that ward, they'll go with the red buff, taking this route over here through the jungle. They might do an invade, so you have to be more defensive. This is just like the ward that is very useful, but you can avoid it in a lot of situations. And in solo queue, people don't avoid it, they just don't know how to do so. So this is the ward I like to put down. Obviously in fives, I'd probably be adjusting it, but for, you know, every solo queue game, toss it down there. That's how I feel about it. And I don't know if you saw it, I did golems, but me and Misfortune, I told her about it. I'm like, hey, let's go do golems, and we did golems. That's important. You got to communicate. You got to say what's going on. Now there is a quick moment that I missed once laning started. So everybody has their own play style, and support and the bot lane I think is a very unique mesh of them. So I'm going to point out a lot of the differences between me and this Misfortune. Once again, this Misfortune did not feel that comfortable in the AD carrier role. But for example, the first thing I do, and I do this a lot, is just go aggressive if I get the lane first. So here I see Nami going in the brush. I already have a ward down so that when she enters the brush, which like every support ever does, I'm just going to auto attack, try and land a glitter lance. I do miss a glitter lance and I take a mystic shot in response because, whoops, didn't mean to do that. But the point is, I just want to, you know, try and change their playstyle fast. I want to be on the aggression ASAP. Also note, this is the only ward I have down. I see a Moo. I don't need any other wards. Try and conserve your wards. Sometimes you'll have to ward a place because you can recognize that, well, you need to go there, you need to ward it now before something happens. Or you see an opportunity to do so, like your lane's not being bullied. But if you are, if it's just like early on in the game, you see that the jungler isn't nearby, why would you ward? So when I mention the aggression, this is what I'm talking about. It's like constantly just fight back. I love to get delayed glitter lances on people because they try a lot. People don't try as hard to dodge it at that point. And both me and Nami are kind of going for aggression. Nami's going for lots of stuns. That's how she's trying to be how she's trying to apply pressure. She's trying to land one Q, and then that lets Ezreal land a mystic shot and lets him do a lot of damage in response. So you'll notice that when they do land a Nami bubble, if someone's in a dangerous spot, like if they're not being body blocked by creeps, Ezreal gets a mystic shot, a lot of pressure, and a lot of harass off very quickly. So that's a pretty good playstyle. I like that. Neither of us are really sitting back, letting things happen. And this is something that if you're playing as a support, it can do a lot. You can really throw people off. Now realize that you do have to be on a similar wavelength with the AD carry, because sometimes people just have like different focuses, especially if you're like this Misfortune who does not play that much AD carry. So he's going to have a different mentality going on. So going to 1x speed, this is a really cool fight. This shows how intense and how fast bot lane can be. So what the hell just happened there? Why did that fight go so terribly just wrong for us? Why do I have to flash out? Or actually, no, I don't use flash then. Why does Misfortune take so much damage so quickly? So this is something that you can really only do when you look at it at 0.25 speed, 1/4. A lot of very small things happen very quickly. Like on their own, none of these plays would do all that much. So Ezreal, he does miss a mystic shot right beforehand. Misfortune goes for a CS, uses double up, and then at that point turns to harass. So because that one of his skills is on cooldown, Ezreal already has mystic shot about to come back up, and very importantly, she gets hit by the bubble. Now you're the AD carry, you're trapped in that bubble. You're freaking out. You have cleanse as Misfortune. What are you going to do? You're going to cleanse it right away. And this is just something in general. When you see someone use a resource like cleanse, like flash, you want to exploit it as much as possible when it's down, even if it's the second it goes down. So a good example is, Let's say you're Malphite, let's say they have an AD carry who's really far in the back, and they have flash up. Well, if they have flash up, you might not hit them with the ultimate. But if they don't have flash up, if you see them flash forward or flash back defensively, you can use your own flash to follow up. You can try and just ram them down. And that's important. Like, you have to find those opportunities because quite often people could just they can very easily outplay you. Malphite ultimate is a good example because you can flash it. Misfortune, she uses the cleanse. Now, that's a smart decision because now she's not dying. But guess what? Ezreal has Ignite. That cleanse, this does not reduce the duration of Ignite, the cleanse follow-up effect. So because of that, Chin Mormon, is going to go ham. He's going to go like, alright, this is my chance to go for that kill. I go for an exhaust on Ezreal because then I realize at that moment, oh shit, we're going to die if we don't just, she's going to die if I don't just do stuff. I do have my Transmogrify up. I was going to try and chain it with the exhaust just to try and reduce his damage. I probably should have used Transmogrify first, actually, looking back at that. But then I'm able to just go ahead and use it once that exhaust is used to try and get away. And I do. Hooray! Still, though, what got used there? Ezreal used his Ignite. Misfortune uses Cleanse and Flash. I use my exhaust. Nami uses her exhaust. Like, we're behind in summoners, and also we're super damn low on HP. But that was great play from Ezreal and Nami because they both went for it. They both went all in. They both like, oh, this is our chance. I think like if they were on Ventrilo or TeamSpeak, you might have seen Nami flash forward to use the exhaust. But this is just kind of like the pressure going on. That's a very quick moment right there, and this happens a lot in the AD carry lane. So what happened there? Well, Misfortune got hit by an Ezreal Q, and at the same time, Nami got hit by my combo. So just slow motion again. I love watching this in slow motion because this is really what the lane is like. So like Glitter Lance hit, the stun, it's about to hit. And she gets the last auto attack off. And then I have to run the fuck away because he's going to kill me. So bottom lane is all about those quick moments. Those just, very brief interactions. Both me and Nami are playing aggressively. We're trying to force each other to play differently. Like neither of us are saying, hey, play a passive, sit back and farm. That is the easier option, but it's also the option that's, I'd say, you have less control over. Nami, what is she trying to do to be aggressive? She's trying to land a lot of stuns, trying to use her heal offensively, which is never easy. That heal is tricky to use offensively. However, I believe she does max it first, so that gives her a bit more leeway, because, well, she has more sustain. Me, I'm trying to land the EQ combo, preferably onto Nami, just because she doesn't have the escapes. So it's that situation where if Ezreal does jump into us on a fight, I can Transmogrify him, I can exhaust him, I can shut down his damage for a few seconds for long enough. But Nami, if we do go for her, she just doesn't have options. Preferably, if there's a big team fight, Ezreal needs to die first. Because if not, Ezreal might kill Misfortune, and I'm not taking out Ezreal. Sorry, that's not happening. But when it comes to the harass, Nami's going more farther forward. And if I can get her scared to use her heal offensively, like if I can make her just play passively, then we can start going for Ezreal a bit more. That's how I felt in this lane. Ezreal was doing what every Ezreal ever does, which is trying to land Mystic Shots for auto attack harass. And that's what every Ezreal has ever done, ever. Also note that even though Misfortune died first, she still got a kill. She was ahead on CS. And as a result, the lane's equal. So lanes in bot lane tend to be very, very chaotic in that nature. No one's ever really far ahead unless you get a kill and also not deny a lot of CS. You have to kind of do both. Experience really makes up for the early differences too. So if someone has a little bit more gold, it's okay if you're the same level, generally. Nami though, I do love that she's playing aggressive. This time I'm the one that gets bonked with the stun, so go me, bonk. But we're back in lane. MF goes for an early Brutalizer, and it's kind of different focus and builds. So a Brutalizer, it's aimed more towards that very quick Black Cleaver, which is aimed more towards team fights. Now, this is solo queue. Once again, I do not think the Misfortune had the best grip on what to build very early on, because getting in team fights fast, that'd be a great item to purchase, but that may not happen. I really love watching these interactions in bot lane because they're very fast, they're very quick. It's all just about everybody just spams their skills really quickly, and the AD carries try and get auto attacks off. And it's almost just like whichever AD carry gets more auto attacks off and whoever gets hit by more skills wins, which seems kind of obvious, but it happens so quickly, it's very hard to kind of judge. Now, there are a few key levels to hit. Level 2 is important early on because if you hit level 2, I mean, just having one more skill, maybe you can all-in someone and take them out very quickly. Like, for example, let's say you're a Leona lane. If you hit level 2 before they hit level 2, you can go use Zenith Blade, use the Aegis, and just stun, go very quickly, very aggressively, and possibly win the lane right there. Level 6 is the next big breakpoint. Level 3 can matter too, because getting that third skill on both the support and the AD is a big deal. But right now, because neither of us are level 6, it's like, well, Misfortune is not going to have my awesome defense or a good AoE ult. Ezreal doesn't have the really high burst from his own ultimate. Nami doesn't have her CC. Like, we're all just kind of like, I don't know if we want to fight right now. You'll notice Nami is not going super aggressive with the heal. She's not trying to get the heal bounces to do DPS. I'm not necessarily going far forward for the combos just because they're kind of scary. Though if I do see a chance, I do go for the pressure. Now, what is going on in this lane? Every time one person goes forward on either team, they get poked back, and they get chased very briefly. And so, like, let's say Misfortune goes forward for to auto-attack Ezreal. Ezreal will use a Mystic Shot back, and Nami will go for a stun at the same time. But as that happens, both me and Misfortune will turn around, and then everybody disengages. So everybody's going in for these very quick duels, these very quick fights. And this is kind of like, we're all on each other's wavelength right now. Misfortune doesn't want to commit hard. I don't want to commit too hard either at this point, because I realize Misfortune doesn't. So then we're both playing pretty far back. This is something that it's weird to do, and it may not be the best thing to do. Like, let's say we had a really dominant lane and Misfortune still wanted to play far back. It's like, well, I should still be trying to force stuff because then maybe that'll make Misfortune try and use the advantage. At the same time, there's that one guy. There's always that one guy who will go super aggressively in every team fight ever. Now, I make a big mistake here. I don't know why, but I didn't use my ultimate. And like that was something that like I remember thinking about, like, why didn't I do that? Also, I would have totally killed Nami had that landed. Damn. But this is one of those moments. This is the dual lane. This is what makes a good bot lane in a lot of cases. You see a lot Sona Ezreal combos. Sona with ultimate, Ezreal with ultimate. People take an immediate like 600 damage. I just want to know, as Misfortune is about to get hit by the very tail end of that stun. Ezreal's ultimate does 350 base damage and scales with bonus AD. Might be total AD, but it still scales with AD. Realize that at level 6, people people tend to have like 1,000 HP, and I have an extra 100 for my Sightstone, so people have less than 1,000 HP. That ultimate deals 40% of someone's HP and magic damage, very, very often. Do not forget that about Ezreal. Do not forget about that about Draven's ultimate either. Anyhow, back to this. So, when you're playing support, the big thing that matters, I'd say, that people didn't have trouble with is the exhaust. When do you exhaust someone? So this is a bit of an easier situation because Ezreal does not have cleanse. When it's cleanse, well, usually the enemy team won't be playing so aggressively, but you still have to, kind of risk it because sometimes they'll just cleanse off the exhaust when you don't want them to. So here I see Misfortune, like I know she's in danger. So it's like, all right, let's go ahead, let's fight this. So I immediately shield her. Misfortune immediately fights back. She knows she's kind of stuck in this position. And I move forward to get the exhaust off. Do I get the exhaust off? I actually do it a little bit late. Now, unfortunately, for some odd reason, I didn't use the ultimate. I think I just zoned out. Like, I remember when I was doing this, I'm just like, why didn't I do that? I think I just kind of zonked. But because that, like, they get the burst from Ezreal, they get the burst from Nami. Nami herself doesn't ult, but I believe she's short the mana. Like, she just got enough mana right then and there, which is what's able to make that fight go 1-for-1. So what was that fight? Really, that was a bad reaction on my part. Had I used the ultimate, then Ezreal would have gotten one less auto attack off, and I would have had 300 more HP. I would have gotten closer to Ezreal to get the exhaust off, and very importantly, well, Misfortune wouldn't have died. Nami probably still would have gotten away because she had her flash up. But that's one of those things where I look back and it's like I made a mistake. And you have to kind of think about, like, well, why did that happen? And one is just I think I spaced. I think at the same time, Exhaust has a tiny-ass range when you're using the support. It's got less than Glitterlance's max range, for example. So you have to move forward to do so, to use the Exhaust. Well, I think the problem there was I tried to move forward to get the Exhaust off first, and as I was traveling forward to get into range, Misfortune died. Like, there just wasn't enough time there. So now I know, it's like, okay, for those split-second decisions, make sure I have the exhaust range just under control. A lot of supports have trouble with that, by the way. A lot of people in general have trouble with exhaust range because supports tend to play so far back that when you use the exhaust, well, it's very easy to forget to do it or to do it too late because you still have to get in position. I love this fight, by the way, because we're all going aggressively. Ezreal's ultimate has such a short cooldown that's already back up for this fight, and like, wait, let's not die. But my ultimate is used here to save Misfortune. In the end, it is kind of worth it. It's a weird circumstance where I could have saved her then, or I could have saved her now. Would have been better to save her before, but it's okay. It's okay. Maokai shows up, and this is one of those things where you have to commit when your team commits. But when you see someone like in a dangerous position, or like you know that if they do commit, you'll die, like you cannot help them, it's like you play far back. So that was the thing where both me and Misfortune show up. We don't really go far forward, though. We just kind of hung around over in this area, this part of the brush. As well, there was dudes over here fighting. So it's like we hung out in the back. And it's important to note to like have that play style. If someone commits, if Maokai commits hard, and you know that like you'll lose a dragon, you'll lose a baron, you'll lose a bunch of the map if he dies, you have to go in with him. And that's a terrifying, terrifying concept. But if it's a fight where, you know, you might not lose that much and you know for a fact you can't do anything at all, you know, play far back or just disengage and spam retreat pings. You have to kind of like make those judgment calls because sometimes you can do literally nothing. And if that's the case, do nothing because you don't want to give him a kill, you don't want to give him a chance to just take more of the map. Now, really cool move there from Ezreal. He goes for when he sees Misfortune Challenger ultimate. Maokai does a great job. He sees a move going forward, gets the CC down so he doesn't, you know, use a flash ultimate or anything like that. His flash is on cooldown, but we didn't know that, and it just came back up like seconds later. But Ezreal went forward when he saw Misfortune challenge the ultimate, and that's a good punish right there. That's kind of the theory of a lot of lanes, including bot lane, top lane, mid lane. When you see someone doing something that puts them in a relatively risky position, punish it like crazy. So Misfortune was ulting underneath her own turret. Ezreal still moved forward to get some poke off. If a move, let's say flash, bandage toss, he would have landed the stun. That could have been ultimate. That could have very easily been a kill. And it's punishment like that that goes a very far way. Now, item build. This is a support page. This is me playing support, so no AP. I went for the Ruby Sightstone really quickly because A, wards are awesome. B, very importantly, well, I don't want to die. We're dueling a lot in this lane. For example, right now we're dueling. Now this is a fight where Misfortune and I were just on different wavelengths. This is one of those fights where had me and Misfortune played together, you know, games and games before, or were on TeamSpeak and Ventrilo, would have been different. This is like a weird thing to see because you can just see the decision making in action, and it's not necessarily right for either of us. It's not necessarily wrong for either of us because the truth is we're both playing differently. So MF goes forward. We're going aggressive on Nami. I land my glitter lance on both Ez and Nami. Misfortune gets a good make it rain onto Nami. Like we're focusing down Nami. She's taking a lot of damage, and the CC hits me. The exhaust does hit Misfortune, but she's quick to cleanse it. And Ezreal ultimate, it hits me again. So it's just like all the damage is going to me. And MF, even though she takes a decent bit of burst and does eventually cleanse off that, I believe, ignite exhaust combination, there's this moment. The ultimate right there. The ultimate threw off Misfortune. She was already on the retreat. And Ezreal, when he got knocked up there, we could have killed him. He didn't have flash up, only 372 HP. I think we would have just taken him out right then and there. I still had Transmogrify up too, which is what I was about to use. But because we just had different ideas, different things that we were going to do, she thought maybe I'm not going to ult. I already made that mistake earlier. Why would she think I'm not going to do it again? So that's completely justified. I'm like, we can kill him. And we could have killed them, and like both our ideas were completely justified. How did she not know I was going to make another mistake? How did I know that she was going to fully commit? And this is something people have a lot of trouble with. No one has necessarily the same idea you do. We all play differently. We all do different things. Like there, if I was Misfortune, I would have gone super aggressive. If I would have just been chasing down Nami at this point. We still push him out of lane. We still get into a better position. But we could have done better. But what really matters is we didn't lose anything. Like this is the weird thing about solo queue, especially bot lane. Your main goal in a lot of ways is to not give up ground. If you can still be useful, if you can still be doing awesome things, that's okay. But you don't need to be dominant. Being dominant just makes the game easier. But at the same time, if you're doing okay, if you're not losing, that's not necessarily a bad spot to be in. People kind of underestimate that. It's like if you're not winning, you're losing. No, if you're tying, if you can do something later, if the rest of the map's winning, you don't need to be super duper awesome. Which in this case, the rest of the map's doing decently. We're ahead like 1,000 gold. Not bad. Not bad at all. I really just taking Olaf to town, and Diana doing pretty well against Lux herself too. This is like the chaotic lane. So because we don't have the same idea, we're not on the same wavelength, we're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna make synergy mistakes, and that's okay. And that's something that you have to understand will happen. It's something that the person you're playing with has to understand will happen. If you just get angry and depressed, you're just gonna start losing. But at this point, Misfortune, like you'll notice, she's playing a lot more forward now. She's playing a lot more aggressively. I mean, Ezreal does have a BF sword. She has Brutalizer longsword, so her damage is lower. But because we're both going forward at the same time, we're both going for this aggression, we're coming out ahead in these exchanges. So that's cool. We are very slowly, actually very quickly in a way, building the support AD carry relationship. Now, Lux shows up. Run the fuck away. I thought that would do a little bit less damage. I was right though. I knew that wouldn't be a kill, but I didn't think that would be so damn close. So that's a bit of a mistake on my part. I do love the Nami ult. I really love that attempted big play. Unfortunately, she has to blow flash, and now she has no CC and no mana. And this turns into just an awesome kill for the mid lane. And this is kind of like, I'd say, the counter to what I just said, which is important because everything shifts and everything is different. In this case, Diana saw Lux roaming towards bottom, saw a chance to come in and just clean up the fight. Clean up the fight if you see a chance. And this is where I mentioned it before, you need to punish those mistakes. You need to go for those big plays and punish them. Well, in this case, I just mentioned you don't need to be doing excessively well. That's okay. If you're equal with the enemy, usually that's okay. Of course, lane matchups can make that different. But if you do see a chance, if you see the enemy team out of position, which in this case, Lux ultimate was down, Ezreal had no mana, Nami had no mana and had used your ultimate and was out of position. If you see those chances, go for them. But don't play out of position. Don't play in a way that like you're trying to take huge risks just to get ahead. If you like kind of realize, like if you get to know the player you're up against, if you feel their style and realize I can punish them for certain things, go for it. Go punish them. But you don't need to take excessive risks. You don't need to be the guy who's like, I need to tower dive him every time I can, because then you just might die. That is something that a lot of people have trouble with, and it's weird to talk about. You need to be someone who can be okay not dominating a game, and at the same time be able to dominate a game. You need to be that guy who can go 10-0, like 40-0-10 some games. And you need to be okay with the guy who's going like 5-5-5, but you've been getting ganked all game, so your own jungler is doing their own thing across the map, but still, and your team's ahead because of that, because you're going equal instead of going behind. This also applies to jungler in a way. Maokai's come out a lot after like the 10-minute mark. He's been showing up here quite often. He's going for ganks, and that's okay. Like I like it. Unfortunately, we haven't really set up that much for a gank, and like I'm not keeping super high tracks of wards and all that. But it's okay. I'm okay with Maokai going for these aggressive games. If he thinks this will win the game, let's roll with it. That's what you're really doing there. Like if you're not telling people what you'd like them to do, and it's not what they are going to do. It's what you'd like them to do. If you're not telling them things like that, then well, they can do their own thing. In this case, I'm like, all right, he's just going to gank bot a lot. That's okay. We have decent vision wards out there. Ward in this brush, ward in that brush. We're keeping our control. But unfortunately, Ezreal's just a bit too slippery, and, well, we didn't keep that much track over their ward coverage. Now, you'll notice this lane's, in a way, it's gotten more much more passive. Misfortune takes poke every now and then. Ideal poke. Misfortune does their own poke. Like, everybody's kind of poking everybody, but no one's going super aggressive. No one's going ham. No one's just, like, fighting. And the reason for this is, it's a bit of a nerf thing. Quite often we don't know whether if the jungler is lane ganking. Amumu did do a lane gank earlier, wasn't successful, but no, we know he might want to do it. You know, part of it is also, well, Lux can roam bot, and we don't know if he can win these fights. His Misfortune did not want to play super offensively, and right now it makes sense at this moment, because with her build, she's at 136 AD, Ezreal's at 188. She's just behind in damage. She's going for a Black Cleaver, which is good damage in team fights, but in laning, you're not going to out DPS an Ezreal. And Ezreal is being rude to me. Why are you being mean, Ezreal? Why are you being a rude dude? The Ezreal is pretty decent. I feel like just a few times he runs out of mana, and that's what really punishes him. This Nami's funny. She keeps doing that. She keeps getting hit by that. Except this time Lux comes. And this is just like, this was another one of those moments where I'm just like, what is Misfortune doing? And I really love this play. It's once again completely different wavelengths, and it still works out. And the thing is, you kind of gotta roll with it. Lulu luckily is really good at rolling with it because her skills are so good. It's like use the ultimate, use a shield on Misfortune. In that case, I'd already use a shield onto Nami to slow her down and get the vision. Well, we already had the vision, but just to help kill her because I deal mega DPS. But I love that play. She moves forward to get the kill instead of trying to retreat like I am. It's like, then it's just like, alright, well, I guess we're kind of doing this. And then she just turns around and tries to shoot him in the face, which is also awesome. Does not work out, though. But it's still like, I didn't just run away. I'm like, let's fight this out, let's do our thing. Let's go ahead and go crazy. And then now we see Lux. Now we're going for Lux. Go ham, baby, go ham. No, we're not going ham. We're not going that ham. Because, well, frankly, that would have been a terrible, terrible dive because Lux can just root us. But then we land that, and we still don't go ham. I just like saying that. It's important to just kind of roll with the flow. If it's one of those things too, where it's like if you are the first on your team to start working with your team, you can do so much. You can do just awesome things. Misfortune started getting more aggressive in lane. I started getting a little bit more passive. Like we started equalizing out. It was cool. Some of the laning was a bit rough, but you know, Misfortune's 2-3-3, not the best score, but she's ahead on CS of Ezreal. She is doing well. Her build is something that I'm still going to criticize because it's really bad for laning, but, you know, maybe she wanted to go for those team fights, and frankly, her team fight's pretty powerful, because with the Diana initiation, even though it is a bit nerfed right now, it's still good. It's still very good. Also, Nami's a jerk. But, ward coverage this game. Ward coverage has been all over the place, and part of it is just kind of, it's been very laning-centric. Like, right now I have, like, wards in both these brushes. This vision ward was to make sure Maokai... Like, I thought Maokai might have camped this brush, so that's why I put a vision ward in there. We had a vision ward here, so Maokai could gank. Ward coverage all across Dragon. I've barely left bot lane. Oh crap, Misfortune, run Misfortune. Okay, she's fine. So, like, ward coverage this game has been very weird. It's been all focused on protecting bottom. Like, screw mid, screw top. I'm not roaming there. I'm just going straight to bot to protect MF. And unlike this, like this, it's kind of how the game worked out. And it's one of the things about adapting. MF takes so much damage there. But the team shows up to back her up. And that time I remembered to use the ultimate. Hell yeah. And the ultimate was not necessary to save her, actually. She would have survived without it. Still, though, it's cool. But, I still feel good about it. But, like, Maokai, you gotta watch his movements on the map. I actually just got past him. So he's going towards top. They take the top turret. He realizes I'm not needed there anymore. He's heading towards bot. It's like, well, I could probably be useful there. And then this is right before Misfortune takes a lot of damage. Like, Misfortune is there. She's at half HP. And then he starts going back towards mid. He stutter steps for a second. And then he realizes, like, he sees this going on. He was watching the lane at the time, and he turns around. Whoa. Microphone fell. Turns around immediately. So that is a cool thing to watch in action. Like it was a very quick stutter step. It was a very quick moment. It was brief, but Marley Kluss still realized, like, I gotta go down there. I gotta do stuff. And then we started doing stuff. We started doing awesome stuff. It's like, hell yeah! Look at that! Look at that dead Ezreal. And then I should delay the transmogrify, the Whimsy, until she was at the wall, so that way I could see her before she flashes over. That's something that I realized, like, that second was like, damn it, this is not going to work. Flash for flash, and she still would have used flash anyways. Damn it. Still, though, it's just, I like that. Now, Ezreal, he went for the big play, he went for the big harass. I think that's something I might have done myself, but well, you gotta be very conscious of where the rest of the team is. And really, they could have killed Misfortune, taken the turret, and been fine. Unfortunately, they went for the big mean play, and the big mean play just did not work out. Now this is an awesome play. We're just hunting them down. Just like kill all Namis. We're just tossing her back in the ocean. This is a snowbally solo queue game. The score is 16-8. I have not been showing this, but Diana's been kicking ass. This was something we just looked up on Loking before. Like Misfortune was telling us, yeah, that Nami or that Lux is like 0-0 this season. She was 0-2 last season. Like just didn't play a lot of Lux. So sometimes that just happens. Sometimes your mid lane just wins like crazy, and the rest of the game gets pretty dominant because your mid lane is super far ahead. I really got camp top, and still she's 3-4-3 versus 1-4-3 Olaf and has a CS lead. So like the focus of this game has been bought, but this is not really going to be the bigger decider. We've had these awesome fights. A lot of focus has gotten bought for both sides, but one of the big things is mid lane is winning. Now, sometimes that just happens. Sometimes your lane wins and you win. Yay! Mid lane won. You got the win. Hooray! Sometimes your lane doesn't win, and you lose. And it's just like, well, what could I have done there? Not much. Not much I could have done. It sucks. So that was a cool little fight. Diana initiates, we disengage. Just same wavelength, just like if we both knew this is a bad situation to be in. As Aurelia is just doing funny stuff. I actually want to see this because she mentioned this in our team chat. Because she's just dueling Olaf and she's dueling Olaf and Lux and just not caring about anything. Did she take Lux low? She took Lux low. And then just like having the time of her life when the enemy team comes to gank her. Oops. Oops. Sorry, Aurelia. I wish I reminded you about this. Oh. Nobody pinged because we all had such a big fight bot. We're just like, let's take a moment just to shop and relax. And she's just like, why didn't you guys say anything? I love solo queue. It is really fun, even in the worst of times. The best of times, it's awesome. Now, what are the big points I've been driving home about this? This has not been super focused on the actual support gameplay. It's more of a meta commentary, which not even meta, just like personal and teamwork skills. Adapt to your players. Some roles this isn't as important. Top lane, if you like top lane, it's more like, will the jungler come? Yes or no? Yes. All right. Work with him. No. Ward really hard. Other times it's like mid lane. It's kind of the same deal. It's like you can probably play a big farm fest mid lane, and then maybe not even maybe follow the enemy mid laner if they go for ganks and stuff like that. Or you can try and farm. I wouldn't recommend just farming non-stop, but some people do it, and they can get away with it. There's a lot of stuff you can get away with, and the important thing is kind of finding what works, finding what doesn't work. I know this Aurelia just wants to go crazy, just wants to just dive in. So I'm like, let's do it. Let's do it, Aurelia. I'm here to back you up, Aurelia. And you got to kind of like get into every player's head in this game. This game I felt very, very like knowledgeable about what the players want to do. In this place, that was a 3-man dive past their second inner turret as we're just hunting them down. Did I use one to that point? I think I forgot to. Oh yeah, there you go. I use it now to try and kill a Mumu. Now, there's one big thing to remember about solo queue. I keep saying this, don't go for the big plays. Don't do what I do, by the way, which is make a huge mistake. So, I'm about to die there. I also got really nervous in blue flash, because I'm like, no, I can't die now. Watch my level of... Oh, crap, I just missed it. That was 15 seconds anyways. Watch my level of whimsy. This is something that it happens so rarely. So I'm level 12 right now. I'm about to, or not whimsy, watch my level of health picks. That's it. I'm about to hit level 13. I have 100 mana. I have my health potions ticking. All 3 of my flasks are going. Use a glitter lance, does not land. 2 potions ticking. I hit level 13, and I put a point into health picks. It was level 4 before. Now it's level 5. Now it costs 100 mana instead of 90 mana. Look how much HP Amumu has. Would that level 4 health picks have killed him? Yeah, it would have. And what's gonna happen? He's gonna get to the turret. I don't have enough mana. Eventually, I'm just like, wait, I'm screwed. He doesn't die to the ignite either. Wait, what's igniting it? Oh, it's Sunfire Cape. Whoops. I'm like, wait, what? How did he get ignited? We don't have an ignite there. Then I flash and die because I'm dumb. Then Misfortune tries to chase down a Moo. And we're all cheering him down, cheering him on because he's making the big escape. And then we don't get the kill. And then Misfortune ends up dying because a Moo and Navi come back and just turn it around. And we're idiots. We're all idiots on our team. But we still won that team fight really hard, so it's okay. Now realize in closer games that could have been a throw. That could have been the moment when the enemy team gets Baron and we come back and win. And that was really fun. That was really funny. But don't do that shit. Don't go for big, super fancy looking plays. Like, all right, if you have to, if you think you can do well, go for it. But don't go for something where it's just like this, like I gotta get this kill because it'll be awesome. No, make sure it's like you feel confident you can do it and you're not taking a massive risk. And like in that case, once like very quickly, I'd overstayed my welcome, and I still kept going for it. And I knew it. I knew I'm like, this is probably not going to work. If you in your head you're saying this is probably not going to work, then don't do it. Back off. Spam retreat pings. Don't dive into Moo and then die because you leveled up your health picks. You didn't have enough mana. I think he might have survived with he would have died in Misfortune actually. So yeah, he would have died if I hadn't leveled health picks. Damn it. That really hit me at the time. I hit Alt D, I'm just like, fuck. That was bad. That was a bad move. Let's see. Do I have the oracles yet? Do I have the oracles then? I think I have the oracles then. When it comes to Baron, Baron's a weird thing because some people love doing it, some people hate doing it, some people want to do it right away. They want to do it right now. They're already doing Baron. They're doing Baron. Yeah, no. When that happens, like you got to kind of like calculate it. Make sure your team isn't doing Baron without vision wards, or at least preferably in oracles, because a lot of wrong things can happen. I mentioned before, throws have come very quickly, but what happens in this situation? We're all trying to do different things. So like Maokai is trying to get away. Misfortune was trying to go aggressive. Didn't have her ultimate up. Doesn't have her flash or cleanse up. It gets blown up. I'm like, I got to get out of here. Errday is doing blue buff. We're all doing completely different things. Diana is also dead at the same time. And it's just one of those things where, no one's on the same wavelength. This is one of those solo queue moments where people are going for those big awesome things. It's like, I'm just trying to get the hell away. You can see me retreating. I really was just like, let's do this. Let's just kill him. Let's kill everybody. And I can respect this. And she does kill a guy. She does kill one dude. And I exhausted Lux because I thought she might get away. I didn't see him in the mini-map because, well, I actually wasn't looking. I had no idea he was there. I'm just like, I gotta save this early. I gotta make sure she doesn't die, and she still dies. Still, though, there's a weird moment in solo queue games where you're far enough ahead, you can still make really bad decisions and still make decent trades as a result, and it's okay. You just gotta make sure that the big things you don't want to lose are inhibitors. Once you lose an inhibitor, your map control just goes away. Baron buff because the enemy team gets really good team fight. And map control of Baron buff, so you don't walk into Baron buff thinking they're doing it, and you get hit by a trap and die. Those are the big three things to maintain. It's like your inhibitors, Baron, and the vision on Baron. Now, if you're parked outside the Baron pit and they're clearing wards and you're having this poke war, that's fine. But if it's a situation where it's just like, well, we just lost a fight, we just like everybody's healing, and you have no vision on Baron, they could rush it, they could spam it, they can kill it very quickly. Baron is one of those things where you have an idea of how fast it will go down. It's like it should be going down relatively slowly to this team. This other team might go super quickly. But it's very easy to forget about it. And you forget about it for a minute sometimes. It's a long time in League of Legends. That's long enough for a team to do Baron. And very, very often you will lose a game because you forgot about it. This happens all the time. Now I buy the Oracles, and I'm just like, hey, no vision on Baron. We can do it, guys. We can do it. We can do the Baron. We're going to kill this Teemo. Die, Teemo. Took a bite out of that. Took a bite out of that map coverage. But let's see, gotta rally the team. I went for the Oracles there because I'm like, we can probably do Baron very well if the team wants to. It's like we're set up for it. We can also do dumb things and try and fight them in awesome ways. So that's always a good option. And yeah, this is a stompy game, but solo queue is really stompy. That's one of those weird things where it's just like one person gets caught out of position. And it costs so much, as now Lux is flashing over the wall. I'm flashing over the wall myself. I'm just like, I'm gonna get you now. I'm gonna get you. I meant to whimsy her, but I hate myself for some reason. It's one of the things I hate. I hate looking at my own replays because I see every little mistake, and I'm just like, why did that happen? I think I fat fingered that. It's like, this chase is awesome. This is an awesome escape because we have so much item advantage, and we don't have Baron buff, but we still we have the gold and the experience that, you know, we're getting hit by every skill shot. I get the perfect ultimate as Real gets over the wall, and like we're still just turning around and killing them. It's like they're chasing us down, and we're kicking their ass. I don't think the Diana nerfs really shut her down. It's like as it happens, I'm really still killing everybody. That just happens in solo queue. Solo queue, I love you so. So what are the things to take away from this replay? Well, work with your team. This was not super support oriented commentary. I figured if I'm just like, this is how I play support in every single way, I would just get overcritical of myself and just be like, I'm the worst fucking shitter fucking support ever. So I decided not to. Now, realize solo queue is also full of people who, I'm going to try and find the appropriate word for this, they're assholes. They're just like, it could be that they enjoy, you know, not working with the team. Like some people, it's like they have fun messing with other people. Other people, you know, they've been playing solo queue for so long that they just get jaded. They just like they're quick to be aggressive. They're quick to be mean. They're just quick on the harshness. And it's just like there are those guys who have played like 4,000, 5,000 games of solo queue. Those guys who play like 2,000 games of solo queue, and just they're burned out and they're grumpy because of it. So sometimes you'll make a mistake. They'll never want to work with you again. They'll just be like, this game, it's over. We're done. We're dead because of you. And if that happens, roll with it. Just be like, keep that positive attitude. Keep an upbeat, just momentum. Even if everybody's being aggressive. Eventually you're just like, I don't think you can do this. And just like, I'm done. Like, we're gone. You'll very quickly notice yourself playing worse. You'll very quickly just be in a position where you just see yourself losing. Just like, I think we're going to lose this, and you probably will once you get that attitude, that momentum. Now, some people do that like 2 minutes in. If that happens, screw it, ignore them. You're going to win. No matter what, you're going to win. Even if you lose, you're going to win. You got to kind of keep that up. But, you know, sometimes you'll get pretty down when that happens. You know, maybe take a break. Don't play that many games. Just sit back, relax, enjoy an ice cold Baja Blast from Taco Bell. And then just, you know, do something else. Spend 40 minutes, then come back to League of Legends immediately because, hey man, don't want to be gone too long. Drink that Baja Blast, come right back. But just keep that positive attitude going. And then work with your teammates. Do the crazy shenanigans they want to do. And then watch as solo queue devolves into everybody being dumb and spamming their ultimates all over the place. Maybe going for a kill. Maybe going for that tanky guy in front just because, hey, why the hell not? And just watch as hilarity ensues. It's a really fun game mode. Dumb shit happens all the time. And that's what makes it fun. Dumb shit. It's like, look at the wacky things that you will enjoy. Plus, you get to see cool new tricks. Hopefully, you guys enjoy this. Once again, send me vids. And, yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. Adios, folks.